How doing? Hey, what's up, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the Tim Black Show. What is up? What is up, man? It's Sunday. Sunday, man. What's happening? What's happening? Yo, my name is Tim Black. Welcome back to the Tim Black Show, as I said. And I got a couple news items for you. First things first, like to say what's up to my people on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We in the house. Thank y'all for being here. You know how we do. You know how we do. I think I saw Buck and Black Mamba. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for moderating Buck and Black Mamba. Other Tim Black Wolfpack members, Tim Black Wolfpack members, thank y'all for doing what y'all do. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to all of you. Yo, I don't know what's going on. And I don't know what's happening, but yeah, what's up, Donald? What's up, Schultze? What's up, people, man? I don't know, man. Yo, so yeah, popcorn. I guess we can get some popcorn out. Mom, but we can get some popcorn out. My mic's up. The lights are on. It ain't quite Christmas. Cat, Negrita, what's up? What's up? All right, look. Folks, if you are new to the show, you're just tuning in because somebody hit the like button or shared this out on their profile. This is the Tim Black Show. We do this a lot. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Look, we do U.S. politics. We do breaking news. And it's real important that we do these things because America has a fear of the truth. Yeah, like America doesn't want the truth to come out. And I've been looking at this for months, actually. I stumbled upon this concept maybe about a year ago. And it's a very unique stance, I think. I didn't get it from any particular person. It's something, I developed it, right? So it's sort of theory. I think it's a theory, but I think it's safe to say the theory has been proven true. And that is that, speaking for myself, I was trying to understand why people watch me. What is it, Middle-aged black man with a bald head. What is it about me? And I'm trying not to not be me, but step outside of oneself. Be a bug on said wall. Look at myself and say, what is it? What am I doing when I'm right, when I'm cooking? When I'm cooking, baby, like a George Foreman grill. When things are popping off for real, when I really got it going, what is it? And I said, I know what it is. Superpower. Truth. When you speak truth, when I speak truth, I feel like a superpower overtakes me. I become Blade, Black Panther, a man called Hawk. Who do I become? I become somebody, but I become something. It's the truth that does it. It ain't nothing else. I mean, and I realize that what America is missing is truth. America is afraid of the truth, and I think they're afraid of the truth because if America has to face the truth, well, all hell breaks loose. The natives become rowdy. Yeah, and when the truth comes out, people tend to, when you find out the thing you weren't supposed to find out, but you find it out, your reaction may not be in the reaction that America's ready for. So the truth is a very dangerous thing. And it's like we all stumbled upon, I think we stumbled upon this area of realizing this, and all of us at some point, and we realize how powerful the truth is, particularly when you're saying it to large groups of people on forums. It could be devastating, it could also be very liberating. And that's what it is, man. It's the truth. It's a powerful thing. Use it sparingly. Use it with intention. Be the master of your universe. That's like some cartoon shit. Be the master of your universe. Truth. What's really destroying us is the lack of truth. Yeah, that's what's stopping us, man, was lack of truth, man. If we tell the truth about the system, then we have an opportunity to overtake the system. If we tell the truth about whatever it is, you got something going on in your relationship, you don't like it, you ain't gonna solve it by lying. You're not gonna solve problems by ignoring problems, by sugarcoating. You gotta solve problems with dealing with the truth. So anyway, I'm with this in mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna build out a show tonight. This is, that I structured a show built on the truth. So first truth I want to look at is Bill Maher talking to Jay Leno. And now I know, don't change the show. I know you want to leave as soon as I said it. Don't do it. It's important for you to sit for the truth.
Just remember him hugging Nixon, and then
so what?
I know, but at the time he was he was seen as a traitor.
It's so funny you mention that because, like, today we live in this time when you're not allowed to have friends from the other side or cross lines politically. And I forgot that there's an example of that way back when.
Yeah.
A guy who crossed lines politically. Ooh, the worst thing you could ever do, be friends with a Republican? Call 911.
Yeah.
This is what I fucking hate about the left. Like, and they're not going to get me over to the Trump side, which they think they will sometimes. But just the idea that, cut your family off for Thanksgiving if they voted for the wrong guy.
Well, yeah.
Fuck off, you fucks.
Well,
see, this doesn't make sense, what he's saying. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. He said they won't get me over to the Trump side. What side? Folks, I don't even look at there as having sides. Yo, you got political party. I don't. It's one thing. It's politics. We gotta stop looking at sides. I don't. He lost me with that part. Let me. That doesn't make sense to me.
Over to the Trump side, which they think they will sometimes. But just the idea that, cut your family off for Thanksgiving if they voted for the wrong guy.
Well, yeah.
Fuck off, you fucks.
Well, I don't know.
And Sammy, but when he hugged Nixon, he was ostracized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
By the left a lot. That was an early harbinger of that.
Okay, so back in their day, Jay Leno, Bill Maher, I think they're both around 70. They're both talking about how things used to be where you were allowed to be maybe more so partyless or intra-party or the system and it's just whatever. And Democrats and Republicans sort of played together, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think what happened is this, though. Okay, what I believe what happened is the media got more powerful. In the media, the way the media makes money is to continue to look at the differences on whatever issue and stay on it. And stay on it. And stay on it. And stay on it. To the point where the polarization of this particular issue has become so big that now we can't even have a conversation beyond that. And since they get to control what conversations be going down, people be thinking only about that polarized thing. Now, a life has a lot of stuff in it. It ain't just about one thing. But if you're looking at the media, they're gonna look at you, they're gonna have you look through the one monocular, I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking it's one eyeball thing, right? And you can, I think I seen it like on a pirate cartoon. Look through here, you'll see the land is coming, and they'll have this one ocular. That's the media. That's what they want you to see. They don't want you to see anything outside of that. There's no gray area. There's no nuance. There is no, oh, I see why you look at it that way. You're not raving mad. You're not a lunatic. You don't hate everyone. It's just you're looking at the gray. You're looking over here slightly askew to where I'm looking. You're not crazy. You're just seeing things. But see, that's all gone now. And Bill, you contribute to that. Yeah. Isn't it funny? People like Bill Maher who have contributed to the polarization. He helped build this thing. Now he's coming out of, this is what I hate about the left. The left is too, boom. Nah, man, you're a part of it. All of these corporate media types, because half the time when you're not being enlightened or talking enlightened, you sound just like everybody else. In your little corner, claiming this little piece of whatever the hell you're claiming. So yeah, that's part of the thing I think is different. I think it was more obvious that politicians were politicians and it was a job. Now people try to wear it like it's a religion. And I don't think it ever was. I don't think it was ever a religion. Now, dudes are trying to hold on to power, trying to increase profits, trying to expand the phoniness. They've expanded politics to make it seem like, it's do or die. Mind you, 40% of America don't even vote. 40% of America is not even going to the polls. I don't know if you know, because I know some of us didn't do good in math. 40% is damn near half. So whenever we talking about any of this nonsense, always remember, we ain't even talking about half the country. Well, half the country is being left out the conversation. All right. As if presidential elections are all that matters in life. Being able to pay your bills, live indoors, take care of your kids, walk your doggy, park your car, drink water that won't kill you, buy some food that isn't pumped full of carcinogens, like all these other things, vastly more important than what old white guy sitting in the Oval Office who you'll never meet. But see, that's too honest. What I just said is too honest. And if you are gaslit by what I just said, you're a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You infected with this idea that it's do or die, and everybody, and if you don't, you're this type of person. You gotta like the guy, you have to like the liar I like, or you're something wrong with you. Obviously, something you are an evil demon person. If not, you think like me, guys. So I'm just gonna kick out of these people, man. I mean, we gotta look beyond it. It's like if you're focusing on the nonsense, then the nonsense will own you. Look, so I saw Bill Maher. I said, okay, this is a good clip. I want to use this. I'm gonna jump off into this. I want people to think about it. Bill Maher saying people have gotten dumber. People have been getting more distracted over piddly shit. That what I feel and what you feel about a certain subject does not change much in our general lives. But We've been gaslit by media to make it seem as if it does. Thank Joy Reid. Thank Rachel Maddow. Thank, I guess you could say there's conservatives that do that too. If you don't think the way they think, now you want your children to grow up bigots, racists, I don't know, what's the word? Like, if you don't want them, it's like the conservatives are like, if you don't follow traditional, yes, if you don't follow traditional values, then you're not American, you know, so it's the other way too. It's the other way too. Sometimes it gets a little difficult to go both ways at one time, in one head, in one mind. So then I was looking at the Bill Maher thing. I saw this clip. I said we're going to include it. Let's move on. Let's go on to somebody that does this as well, where they thread needles, where 1 minute they sound like a crazy person, then they bring it back. It's as if someone tapped them on the shoulder and was like, look, last time you sounded like this, so now you just sound like this because you're losing these people over here. Case in point.
I think progressives have fallen into some traps here. High IQ, low EQ traps. Very smart and very dumb because we're very smart. And so nobody likes to be talked down to.
I heard this comment about 5 years ago. High EQ, high IQ, low EQ. You could think really well, but you had no understanding of how people think. You could do a math equation that would kick ass, but like having a conversation with a woman, Or hell, building friendships, not good at that at all. But really good at deducing a term paper. But it's, this is supposed to be profound. I don't know, some people would say, smarty-arty. Oh, smarty-arty. Oh, smarty-arty. I remember Marty used to say, oh, smarty-arty. Smarty-arty in their world. Smarty-arty ninja, smarty-arty. But then he couldn't like fit in the hood at all, but he was smarty-arty. He was really good at that. Anyway, let's keep going. This is Van Jones splitting atoms. He's over here splitting atoms for this white guy he's talking to. And the crowd is fixated like, wow, look at Van. Please, kind sir, tell us more obvious truths that a 10-year-old could say.
Into some traps here. High IQ, low EQ traps. Very smart and very dumb because we're very smart. And so nobody likes to be talked down to. Nobody likes to be talked at. People can, and you talk about this in the Middle East all the time, people can spot disrespect at 1,000 yards. They can spot condescension at 1,000,000 yards. And so, and also I think we do this thing on the progressive left where we're very interested in identity, which can be important. But the thing about identity is, the big question is, are you like me? Are you like me? Are you black like me? Are you a lesbian like me? Do you vote like me? Are you like me? And that can be very important because sometimes those differences have been, pushed to the side when they shouldn't have been. So I get it. But the problem is that when you're trying to get something done and you've got to get somebody to do something hard, the big question isn't, are you like me? The big question is, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you see me? Am I just a white guy who's a Republican? Am I just, somebody who needs to be talked to and educated? Sometimes we leave people with the impression that we don't like them very much, that we actually think the world would be better off if they weren't around, or worse, that they need to be, it's almost a colonial mindset. They need to be conquered and converted. Like all these people who live in the red states, who live in dumb fuckistan, like all these idiots, right? And if we could just go and conquer and convert them and feed them some kale. You know, if we could just somehow fix all these idiots, the world would be better. Well, it turns out you suck, follow me is not as persuasive as liberals apparently think. So it's a spiritual thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's a spiritual thing. If you love people, they listen. I love people. I work hard to love people. I mainly work hard to love myself, which is hard. But I love people.
Yeah,
I think progressives.
Yeah, give it up for Van Jones. Van Jones saying very basic things to people that, for whatever reason, didn't look at it like that. I thought people liked it when you call them morons. Didn't ask for their vote. I thought people liked it when you ignored their realities of life and then told them to donate to your campaign. What's wrong with that? I mean, but it's a shame, but I mean, if you don't value people, if they don't feel like you value them or understand them or give a damn about their lives, who's listening to you? If they feel like all you came in here to do is to like preach them and try to change them into your ideology, then no one's gonna listen to you. Like, I'm trying to understand where's the amazing ideas. But then I realized, guys, it ain't about amazing ideas. It's about very basic ideas. It's just saying them aloud, saying the truth. Saying just basic truth. Van Jones ain't saying nothing all that special. He's just the package in order to say it. He's saying identity don't matter, but if Van Jones wasn't Black Van Jones, who worked for Obama, is he that guy who has that show on CNN? I mean, why else does he have to cry all the time? Why else does he have to put the extras on top in order to stay, like, relevant? I'm just saying. Does he really have insights that are really that dope that they got to keep going to this guy? Or is it I think they use his blackness, his ability to cry, his willingness to jump what appears to be out of their groupthink so they can maintain some equilibrium. I mean, I'm not fooled into thinking he's surprising them when he comes on CNN and has a thought that's like more aligned with Trump. I don't think everybody on CNN, besides D.L. Hughley, goes, oh no, we didn't know he was going to say something different. I think they already knew he was going to say that. I'm not confused, or I'm not fooled. But what they're doing is they're playing with the truth. They're playing with the truth that there are people that don't just see it one way, which is the way CNN particularly likes to project it. There's more than one way to look at something. And if you want to corner the market, you want more market share, you want to dig into the number one cable news, which is Fox News, you got to have people like Van Jones. They're going to say other things, so maybe people will occasionally not turn the channel when your shit is on and they walk into the room and see you playing, see your network on. Okay? So that's what I think a lot of this is. But at the end of the day, I think Van Jones is right. It's okay to agree with Van Jones and say Van is right that there are people that think that their thoughts are the only thoughts that matter. I never think my thoughts are the only thoughts that matter. They're the ones that I have, thought. You can only be one person at one time, but you got to be open to other stuff. So America's afraid of the truth, which is there's more than one way to look at something. Oh, can't have that on cable news. But yeah. Like, I'm going to tell you, I'm glad there's a Van Jones. Because Van Jones creates content. You're not supposed to say this, by the way. You're not supposed to say this, but I guess it don't matter. I'm saying it. How many people are going to hear it? Not a lot, right? But you can never tell the truth that you enjoy. You're glad that you got a Van Jones telling the truth, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, because he creates content that in turn creates more content. Another way to look at that is he creates conversation that begots conversation. So people will have more conversation and more ideas get out. And people, hopefully with ideas, people get growth, people learn some stuff, and we could be a little less dumb, all of us. And I'm sorry, man, but both sides of the equation, both sides of the argument that they pretend are both sides of the argument, sometimes I don't even buy that. But for the media perspective, yeah, they like to pretend that they're on the opposite sides. I don't think they're always on opposite sides. It's sort of like if you were ever in a debate challenge, if you went in class and you got to argue this side, they got to argue that side. I feel like that's what happens all the time on these cable news networks. And it's for show. But America's afraid of the truth because the truth will be the thing that mobilizes us. Us. And it all comes down to money. So I like that. That's good. I appreciate Vajo. I don't agree with him all the time. Don't have to. I'm not even looking to agree with him all the time. In fact, it's good I don't agree with him all the time. That's the other kick in the ass, guys. We don't need to agree with people all the time. Why would you want to agree with people all the time? How are you being challenged if you agree with people all the time? Now, maybe half the time. If you agree with me all the time, you might as well listen to yourself. I'm serious. If you agree with me all the time, just go ahead and you just say whatever you're going to say, record it, and play it back to yourself. Because, I don't know. I mean, I need to push you, and you need to push me. We need to push each other towards something better so we grow. We ain't growing if we ain't challenging something. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying if you agree, you can disagree with something when you first hear it, but be like, that's interesting. I don't know if I agree with that. That's good enough. As long as it's not fucking stupid. As long as it's not crazy. You know? Anyway, I'm going to tell you something. When I first started hearing this guy, back in 2019, he was supposed to come on this show. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. I don't know what happened. So I was kind of pissed, but he was running, I think it was for governor. Anyway, John Fetterman. Now he's a senator. John Fetterman, here he is talking about Donald Trump. Let's get into it now, guys. You guys ready? We're going to really get into it. Hit the like button. We're about to move on over to this. John Fetterman was talking about Donald Trump. He was talking about the Democrats. On the low, as far as Democrats go, he appears to be, he's projecting himself like he may be one of the more reasonable Democrats. Because he appears to be a less lying Democrat. They're lying Republicans too, but he appears to be a more transparent Democrat. Case in point.
Going to be Donald Trump's favorite Democrat in the Senate?
I don't know what that really means, because you never know. But I'm just a regular Democrat. I'm not leaving my party, but I'm not sure why some of the things that I've chosen to do, like meeting with nominees and having views that might be more aligned with some of the Republican side, I think that's part of politics, and that's pretty much consisting with just doing the job and representing the kind of state that we have in Pennsylvania.
Looking forward, what are you most optimistic about with a Trump presidency, and what do you fear?
Well, it's like I've been warning people, like, you got to chill out. You know, like the constant, freak out. It's not helpful. So, pack a lunch, pace yourself, because he hasn't even taken office yet.
Do you think he has the potential to be a successful and a good president?
I hope, because I'm not rooting against him. If you're rooting against the president, you are rooting against the nation. And I'm not ever going to be where I want a president to fail. So, country first. I know it's become maybe like a cliche, but it happens to be true.
What was the single biggest factor behind Kamala Harris and Democrats losing in November?
This guy said country first. Country first. Nah, you're not a regular Democrat, Joe. Nah, Fetterman, that's not regular Democrat stuff. It's party first. You know that. See, not being honest. You're not keeping it real, because you know as well as I know. I'm not even a Democrat and I know that shit. I know that. I've covered enough Democrats. I've interviewed enough Democrats to know that that's not the way they operate. That's not how the party operates. For you to say that you're just a regular Democrat, and then you say it's country before party, oh my God. Nah, that's when the pitchforks come out. If they could get you up out the paint, they would get you out the paint on that. Yeah. That's how you, but see, what saves them is APAC money. Yeah, he ain't gonna be all but so like honest. Okay? This ain't honest Abe. Sit up in this mofo. In his sweat shorts. But he's gonna make his points. He's gonna have his moments. And that's all you can ask for. Let's keep going.
You have a singular political talent. It's undeniable.
Trump.
He had the energy
What? Fetterman just said that Donald Trump has a singular political talent. And he says he's just being a regular Democrat. Now, see, that's Fetterman. Okay, let's clear this up, guys. Fetterman is just backing away from all the progressive bullshit he used to talk back in the day. Yeah, back when I was a progressive news with Tim Black back in like 2016, 2017. Back then when John Fetterman was a progressive mayor of Burlington, whatever it was. What's that place? I forget what it was. Burlington's Vermont. That can't be Burlington. That's Bernie Sanders. Well, he was Bernie Sanders' little big buddy. That's what Fetterman was. Where's Fetterman from? He's from that town. Oh, I remember why he didn't come on the show. Because I had found out about him shooting some black guy in the street one night, like 2 in the morning or something. And I was going to ask him about it because I'm black first, bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah. Yeah, somehow he went through an entire Senate race. And no one brought up the time he shot the black man in the ass. But let's keep going. See, y'all be trying to say, why Timmy having problems? Shit like this. Stuff like this. You think if Trump shot someone, people wouldn't talk about it? Hey, I'm sorry. Let's keep going. Fetterman, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. You were on a vibe. You were showing how truthful you are. You keep going, homie. It looks good on you.
And Democrats losing in November.
You have a singular political talent. It's undeniable.
Trump.
He had the energy and almost a sense of fearlessness to just say all those kinds of things. And people, it's it's undeniable that it has an entertaining aspect for that too. And just, if you're not afraid to say all of those things, and after you survived an assassination, you literally were shot in your head, and had the presence of mind to respond, fight, fight, fight. I mean, that's a political talent. It's undeniable. And also, I never believed that it was about fascism. And for me, that made it difficult for
Kamala Harris said that he was a fascist.
Yeah, well, it's like, that's her prerogative. I mean, but it's not a word that I would use, because you put a lot of Democrats, especially in my state, that I know, and I happen to love people that are going to vote for Trump, and they are not fascists. And also, fascism, that's not a word that regular people, use. That, I think people are going to decide who is the candidate that's going to protect and project, my version of the American way of life. And
who knew this guy was going to be so right? I mean, this was before the election, guys. This is an old interview, but I just wanted to demonstrate how truth is magic. You're just saying the truth. You're just saying the truth. It's like, this guy got shot and he said, fight, fight, fight. That's it. The fact a person is shot in a political race, campaigning, and then does that, the fact that people like saying, we can't understand why he won. Like, dog, you can throw a rock and hit a reason why Democrats lost. But that particular moment, that situation, that event, that right there is huge. That is huge. If he hadn't been demonized by the media for a decade, non-stop, if people had made their careers off dumping on Trump, if there hadn't been 50 books written negatively about Trump, books. How many books have been written about Kamala Harris? How many negative books have been written about Joe Biden? He been in Congress. He been in politics for 40 years. Trump was in politics for 4 years. How many books were written about Joe Biden? Negative. Well, if that wouldn't have happened, they wouldn't even have held an election. This would have gave his ass a seat, basically. I mean, he got shot, dog. If Kamala Harris twisted her ankle, the day she twisted her ankle will be Kamala Harris ankle twist day. If Hillary Clinton split her pants of her pantsuit, it would be the day Hillary split her pants in. I mean, come on. If Obama, developed tendonitis playing basketball, threw his back out. Oh, okay, let's keep going.
that's what happened.
I talked to a lot of Democrats before the election who were saying, we're going to win, Harris is going to win in Pennsylvania. But you saw this coming.
If you live in Pennsylvania and you spend time in Red County, Pennsylvania, as much as I did, the support's astonishing. I mean, I was driving home from Indiana County at 9 o'clock, and there was a Trump superstore on the side of a road. 9 o'clock on Friday night, and people are buying swag. And then that really crystallized at the assassination. And that was in Butler County, Western Pennsylvania, fairly close to where I live. And the day or two later, you start seeing people wearing shirts with that iconic picture, and the energy and the anger, and it's like, wow, I really thought, in fact, I thought that might be ball game, and then the second thing really, and that's when Musk and I, we're in the business. Surrogacy is part of it, and sometimes it really has much of an impact, but I knew that was going to be a special one. And
the endorsement by Elon Musk.
Yeah. Well, an endorsement and an active one, and I'm not even talking about his checkbook.
Yeah.
It's rare if you have a surrogate that has a lot of fanboys, and is very compelling to a lot of the demographic that we are losing in our party and in Pennsylvania.
Do you think he would have won without Elon Musk?
Well, I'm not sure if we would have lost Bob Casey, but I do think Trump, it would have been closer. I really believe that it mattered. We lost Bob Casey for 15,000 votes. And yeah, I'm sure he did move the needle. It's undeniable.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But there's a number of people that I think that Kamala brought in. Kamala brought in a lot of people that were very famous as well. I mean, it's one Elon Musk, not talking about money, but popularity. Does that equal all the stars that Kamala had come out for her? Kamala had more money than Trump, and she had more billionaires backing her than Trump. Almost twice as many. So I'm trying to figure that part out. Nah, it's just the message. It's just, you can't, people had their minds made up. When Kamala had opportunities, she didn't take them. And she was herself. And who she is not a good campaigner. That's just the facts. But anyway, this interview's from today. I'm sorry. He's referencing things before the election, as well as currently.
How would you grade the Trump transition?
Well, I mean, it's not really a grade, but I'm saying this as a Democrat. You know, it's like I clearly, you know, after he announced Gates, and I'm like, that's just, I described that. That's God-tier trolling. I mean, that was never serious. And anyone here in Congress knows that he's despised by Republicans too. So that also set the stage, and here's what's coming. And now I have met with all of them so far, and the ones that we haven't.
His nominees.
They're on the schedule back in January.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to jump forward a little bit, get past some of this stuff here about the cabinet nominees and stuff. That's not, I don't want to use this whole video. Here we go. Let's go to Trump appointees for 200, Johnson.
But we had, you know, all of these interviews were all off the record, and those things. So I'm not going to go into detail, but he absolutely that's never going to happen. You know, like he was very.
He's not going to use the FBI to go after Trump's enemies.
Like, no, that's not it. Or
did you believe him?
Taken.
I mean, he's written a lot.
Like that's what he claims.
Yeah.
And I found out, you know, his family's origin story and immigration, and we talked about that. And my family immigration and things. And so I learned things about him. I never knew that he was a public defender.
So did you come across liking Kash Patel more than you thought you would? Thinking you could support him?
It's. I mean, how much you can absorb in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I have learned things, and I have heard things, and I have no regrets for having these. I never left any of those interviews saying, "Wow, that was a waste of time," or "I regret that."
Have you talked to Trump since the election?
I have not. I have not. No.
So I assume he's going to call you at some point. What is your message to him after he sees this?
What would I say to him? I'd be like, well, hey, congratulations, and have an honest conversations of things I would like we could work together, and some things we're going to disagree. I'd like to avoid the cheap heat and some of the other stuff, but it's going to be a kooky ride, I'm sure. And I try to be a committed, steady voice for Pennsylvania, and to remember that we have to find as many wins in the middle of an incredibly divisive times.
Yeah, man. When I listen to John Fetterman, man, and it's just me being honest, we got a guy who sounds more like a person who actually works for the people that put him in office. That's all it sounds like. Now, he's not totally that way. I talked to you about the AIPAC money and what he's been doing for that. I mean, this guy, he's totally out the gym for AIPAC. So That kind of destroys it. But more often, if you take that issue off the table and look at some of the other stuff he's talking about or that he's making news for in his interviews, it's not like he's putting his people before the Democratic Party. And maybe by doing that, he's also putting his own self-interest before the Democratic Party in a way, because that's how he got elected. You would think so, right? But not everybody operates that way. Maybe his state is different. Maybe he gets to be more of himself or this version of himself. Would I call it the truth? I don't know. Is that what John Fetterman's showing? The truth? I don't know. But it rings more natural. You know? It rings like, it seems more organic when he's talking. I feel less like he's putting it on. Just how it seems. Could be the brain injury or whatever, the stroke or whatever he had. I don't know. That could be working for him too. I know that sounds crazy, right? But maybe it makes him a little bit more simpler, makes him more easily understood, makes him more basic, which makes him more appear less deceitful. And some people think when they start using all these big words, they think they're charming the country out of their pants. Really, sometimes they're overdoing it, man. They put too much sauce on it. Yeah, but you can't tell them that because they know everything. Because they got a high IQ, but they got a low EQ. But John Fetterman, I think, Americans fear the truth, but then they embrace it when they hear it. When I say American fears it, I guess I should change that to the American elite fear the truth. They don't want John Fetterman telling the truth that Trump has a lot of support in Pennsylvania. People were lined up to get his memorabilia. Who was lined up for the Kamala memorabilia? Why can't we just can't say that's what it was? So there's a level of truth that these people won't broach. That even Fetterman won't even say. Like, why can't we contribute it to that? There was no long lines for Kamala memorabilia. Where were all the Kamala shirts? Trump is a rock star. You ain't gotta like his music. There's all types of rock stars who you and I don't listen to. They still selling a billion records. There are streamers I never heard of that you probably never heard of that have 20, 30 million followers. You ain't gotta be a fan of someone for somebody to be killing it in whatever they're doing. So that's my whole point. But in the Democratic Party, like in the brain, the way things run in the Democratic Party, you can't say this shit. Or if you do, you become ostracized. But it's just truth. John Fetterman's just telling the truth. But you can't tell the truth. So anyway, I appreciate it. You can't tell the truth for the party, but the people want it. The people crave it. The people are attracted to the truth, but the party doesn't want the truth. I'm not saying the Republicans want the truth. They want their version of it. And I think that's what they both want. All right. Hit the like button if you thought that segment made any damn sense. Yeah. Share this content with somebody floating around on your timeline, trying to see what you're looking at, what you into. Share the show. This show is brought to you by the Tim Black Legacy Mug, Politics for the People mug. Go to timblackmug.com to get your mug. Thank you for your support of the independent media show called The Tim Black Show. Let's switch gears a little bit. Can we keep it pushing? We shall. Yeah, let's go to this. This is a little different. Gosh. The Secretary of Homeland Security It's supposed to be securing the homeland. If you say, Tim Black, what are you talking about with truth, man? I'm talking about a Homeland Secretary that is blowing smoke up your ass. What's worse than that?
ICE was also unable to account for more than 32,000 unaccompanied kids who failed to appear in court from 2019 to 2023, according to the report we read. The incoming border czar, Tom Homan, says these children are being exploited and trafficked. Is that true?
Well,
Do you know?
Margaret, we certainly have received reports of children being trafficked.
Bam! You would think that would be it. Maybe that would be end of the conversation. You know, maybe we'd be done right there. We certainly receive reports of children being trafficked. What are you doing about it? Wonder where the conversation is going to go to after that. Because once you say, yeah, I know there's children being trafficked, shouldn't your next comment be about stopping that shit? I don't know, man. I guess I'm crazy. I must be Looney Tunes, man. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. But I would think that would be where the conversation would go. To stopping the trafficking of the children. And the reporter would follow up with, why aren't you doing more of that? But nah.
Even those as to whom we know where they are, that is outside the responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security. Mm-hmm. What we do is we turn children over within 72 hours, as the law requires, to the Department of Health and Human Services, and then HHS places those children. Of course, we investigate cases of trafficking, but there are children who are reunited with a parent here in the United States or a legal guardian, and they move, and sometimes the government loses track. Individuals do not comply with their reporting obligations or otherwise.
What? So sometimes you have children that you bring into the country, and then you send them to somebody who, I don't know, doesn't even have paperwork for being in their actual kinfolk. And then they're gone, never to be seen again. You do that. Am I getting this right? When this was brought up before the election, I can't tell you how many people said, this is all propaganda. You just saying it because you a Trump supporter. No, I'm saying it because I got 4 kids. Five kids. Sorry. Nadia's 3rd birthday was Friday, too. Hey, Nadia, how you doing? Tweety Bird. But yeah, they assign all types of nefarious political garbage to like everything. You say, hey, you care about the kids. Oh, it's because you want to support Trump.
I think it is inaccurate to say that all of them are trafficked or victimized. There are a number of reasons why we might lose track of an individual.
Incompetent? No. Don't give a damn? Maybe. Not really prioritizing those children, right? Oh no. Pick something. What would be the reason? Why does that happen? How could you just say I lost track of the people? The minors, the children, you lost track of the children. So look, this is, all I'm saying is, hey, I'm sure I could bring on an expert who could run this all down for me and explain to me. But what I'm saying is, where's the sense of urgency? Where's the sense of, oh no, children are missing. I remember when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she went to the border, she looked through the fence, she saw children in cages, and she started to cry. Has AOC seen this clip? You can't look at these children in cages and cry because no one knows where they are. They gone bye-bye. I wonder if she's crying about this. Who's crying about this? Who's going to be writing me long emails about this? Nobody. Why? Because their brains are stuck on Democrat, Republican. Like the goofball that said, what I'm tired of, Tim Black, is people like you changing sides. I thought about that long and hard. I said, wow. Initially, I dismissed it as a moron. He's a moron, who cares? Then I thought about it, I said, well, what side did he think I was on before? And what gave him that impression? I wasn't a Democrat, you dummy. I didn't vote for fucking Biden. So how could I be changing sides? Dumb. That's when we start meditating. Try to level out. You better blow that shit out. Kids are missing. Where's the urgency at the Democratic Party about the kids? They won't even go after their own Homeland Security Secretary for missing children that pass through their fingertips. Nope. Because political points. So then, Republicans or MAGA seizes upon a truth, which is children have gone missing. Oh, you want to beat up Trump about putting people in cages? Let's go back at the cages and see where the cages come from. They didn't get America to build new cages. The cages are already built. The same cages that Obama used. They weren't new cages. And you were quiet when they were under Obama. Biden have cages? No, he opened up the gates. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. All I'm saying is, where's the truth, Johnson? Where's the truth? Damn it. Takes a certain kind of unethical business. But the people want the truth. The people are tired of the lies.
That is not necessarily specific to this administration. That has been a long-standing challenge in the immigration system. One example of why that system is so broken, why the duration of time in proceedings is unacceptably long and has to be remedied. Remember, we're dealing with a system that was last reformed in 1996.
ICE.
I appreciate that. That was an honest statement. That was an honest statement right there. I like that. There we go. There we go. Here's the thing, though. Now he sounds reasonable. Only because he's done such a garbage job. Yeah. See, whenever, in my experience, whenever someone like that is now saying, hey, it's been bad forever, that's because it's really been bad under them. Oh, you think we suck? We all suck. It ain't just me that's dropped the ball. The ball has been dropped, man. It's a ball that's always dropped. I didn't invent dropping the ball here. You think I lost kids under my watch. You should have seen the other guy. Somehow I don't feel better about that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me feel like, like I got something to believe in by listening to that. I don't get the warm and fuzzies because you said the other guy sucked too. Sounds like you've been worse. Or you would not admit. You'd be saying, hey, we did a better job. But you're saying, hey, we suck, but the other guy sucked too. It's been sucking since 96. It's been horrible. When did we hear all the complaints about the system? For those 4 years. So the system's been the same since 96. and it's been garbage, right? Why the only time I really heard complaints about the system was 4-year period. It was a 4-year period there. 4-year period where, I don't know, where people were really focused on the system not being correct. 2016 to 2020. And what does that rhyme with? What did that overlap with? Oh, that's right, Trump's presidency. And then people went back to being quiet. Shh. And it sounds like we're coming right back in a new time where they're going to get loud again. Because it's all BS. And that's why, they fear the truth. Because the truth is inconvenient, guys. And that is your Homeland Security Secretary. Feel secure? Not if you're a kid crossing the border. Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going, guys. I got more here. I saw this. Now this I touched on the other day. But I would like to take another bite at the apple, ladies and gentlemen. FatJoe.
These rumors were made by radical black racists.
That means, Joe, don't listen to Joe. Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. He's saying that black people are radical racist. Radical racist. He found a word when he was hanging out with Kamala Harris, being her pitch person to the Cubans and the Latinos and the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, whatever it was he was doing, but he was acting like he was so appalled at a comedian who said something about Puerto Rico and trash or something. Yeah, so he says black radical racist. And why are they black radical racist, Johnson?
Let's just say that. Okay? It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them.
Right.
Don't want to hear him. I don't even know what that means. They don't want to hear him. They don't want to hear these people. Why? Why not? See, that's when you can really get to start peeling back to dum-dums. Yeah, when you start asking why questions, you got to get loud. You got to get indignant. Like, you just say, well, why? And then you'll find out he doesn't have a why, other than to demonize people. Now, we know that's not how it works. People have reasons. But if you can't articulate their reason, if your only explanation for why someone does something is they are evil, you are a fool. That means you don't have an argument. FatJoe does not have an argument because he doesn't have a why. There is a why. We'll get to it. This guy interviewing him, Matt Hoffa, that's his name? I don't know his name. He's also from like the islands or something, so he's not a black American born in America. His family from somewhere else, just like FatJoe's. So that's what the whole conversation is about. But let's listen to Joe not make any sense.
Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
Who punched you in the head, Joe, and why? Yeah, someone punched you in the head. I wonder if it's because you got a talk show talking where you just say a lot of words, but you don't say shit because you don't know anything, Joe. You tell large stories, long, winding stories that are pointless. But let's stick to the concept. You said they don't like anybody but you or themselves. I'm not understanding.
Is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
Criticize them for what?
For these guys.
You want me to say a name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA.
You already talking about them, and it ain't your first time you talked about them. So if you didn't want to give them clout, you would have shut up. That's how this game works. That's how media works, guys. If you don't want to give people clout, if you don't want them to be, you don't want their words or their message or to even allow them to have a platform, then you don't talk about them, which also means you don't shit on them, right? You just say, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna go there. I don't want to feed it. I don't want to give it oxygen. I'm not gonna, but you don't try to capitalize off of it in this shit interview here at this hip hop show. You don't try to use it. So you're using it for a reason, because you're out of good stories. Self-serving. You're using it because it's entertaining. So just admit you're really not that upset about it, because why'd you bring it up?
Foundational black authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is.
I don't know. I don't know if I like. I don't know if I like him using the N-word like that. I mean, I know it's nothing I can do to control it. I'm just saying, like, who told this big-ass bottle of mayonnaise with a bit of paprika in it? Who told this muff? I guess hip-hop told him. I guess hip-hop gave him a license to assume he could do that. Let's keep going.
I'm just.
That's funny. That's funny, huh? Because they broke, huh? That's interesting.
Keeping it a buck, and their shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like, you know, your leader? Yo, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to.
Yeah, I don't think there's a leader of people. There's no leader of Black Americans. Like, there's just Black people, just Black people. That's it. Black people are Black people. There's no leader of the Blacks. Who's the leader of the Puerto Ricans? He's talking about Foundational Black Americans. FBA is not an organization, therefore it has no elected officials. If you have no elected officials, you are not a body. There is no leadership. It's just people that are popular, more popular than others, who have platforms that talk about these issues, but they're not leaders, because leaders are elected. Unlike Kamala Harris, who you campaigned for. See, Kamala Harris is a leader because she was appointed to a position with a title. These people, I mean, I know you don't understand. You just picked up a bag from the Democrats and leaned back. But for people with brains or people that want to understand, it's better. What you're saying is a contradiction totally, because you can't have a leadership position in an organization that does not exist. You should not be listened to by anyone at any time about anything that requires thought. In my opinion, anyone who supported Kamala, particularly a part of hip-hop, forever. Forever. You should have to shut up forever. I don't care if D.L. Hughley co-signed, Ricky Harvey's co-signed, or Ricky Harvey, Steve Harvey, or Ricky Smiley, or whoever, right? I don't care. 5 actors, Michael Ealy, and I don't care. Bunk from The Wire, I don't care. Spike Lee, I don't care. Hip-hop should ostracize you for supporting Kamala. It should be a rap. Fat.
Change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. This, that, yo, bro.
You know, look, I'm gonna tell you this. When I was 10, I was in a band. My older brother, my older brother, they had a band. And This was around the time Rappers Delight came out. And I was playing, I know how to play that. I worked so hard to get that little drum beat, that little Congo part. I remember playing that at 9 years old. And they let me play in the band with them as they played. Now we did go-go music too. I'm not much doing go-go music in the house. Man, we did it, but we also did rap. None of us were trying to be Desi Arnaz from Lucille Ball. None of us, I even know what Puerto Rican was. You saw Sanford? That guy from the Sanford show that would come over, Mr. Sanford, him? Now, I know there may be some in New York, but as far as the consciousness of what hip-hop was from a D.C., Maryland perspective, Forestville, Maryland, stand up. DMV, stand up, cuz. This band, I don't know. That's where we were coming from. Surrey Square Apartments, Pennsylvania Avenue. Very close to D.C., 10 minutes. But this is Prince George's, Maryland. People that don't know. District Heights, Suitland. Point is this. In our lexicon of what hip-hop was, it was a black thing. Culturally, for us. The reason why it became an issue, why Joe is on a podcast with a guy whose family's from the Caribbean, he a guy from Puerto Rico and Cuban descent, his parents from those countries, those lands, and he's talking about this, it's because it's under his skin, because the debate is about who started hip-hop. And of course, black people can't have nothing. Black people cannot have nothing. We got people that weren't born in America who are not black Americans. I mean, we don't have much except our culture. All black people have is our culture. And we got these vultures always trying to steal. So it became an argument about this. It's really not an argument. Just because there was a Latino guy painting, tagging subway trains or dancing crazy legs or whatever you're talking about, right? Does that mean that's what developed it? That's what drove the culture of hip hop. It was a black thing. It is a black thing. It's open to the courses. It's gone mainstream. It's gone mainstream for 30 years. Run DMC took it mainstream when I was a kid. It belongs to the world now, the literal globe. But we start talking about the foundation, well, that would have to be Foundational Black Americans, FBA. And it sucks to be you, FatJoe. You know what I would like to see? I'd like to see FatJoe go try to drop a record now. That's why I say I'm glad he did this. So there are people that disagree with me. I understand why you say he should keep our name out his mouth, but I feel like it just continues a conversation where we further get to explore and expose him. But I get your point. I get it. I would like FatJoe to be so exposed that when he tries to put out his next project, us broke ninjas, us Black American broke ninjas, don't support him. And we let him know, as bad as he sounded at that game, what was he at? Was it Jersey? Wherever he was, I saw him come out on the field trying to do Ice Cube's thing. Oh, God. As bad as he performed at that, I would like his future projects to do the same. You know. Speaking as a broke ninja. Let me know what you think about this at all. And if you want a real If you want a real breakdown, rebuttal to FatJoe's rants about foundational Black Americans, check out my man Dwan B. Dwan B. D-W-A-N-N. D-W-A-N-N-B. He ain't hard to find on YouTube and X. I think Instagram too. All right. Hit the like button, guys, if that made sense to you, if that made sense. I don't know, man. Sometimes I get on one. All right, guys. Look, who's still here? I got to go to this. Truth is important. A lot of people don't want to tell the truth. A lot of people can't stand in their truth. I realize there's more than one truth. But the truth is, when you're not being swayed by a political party, when you ain't got a battery in your back from a corporate sponsor, a political interest, an interest group, when you are speaking on behalf of how you feel, and you are representing that to the world, that's your truth. Some people are going to relate, some may not relate. Here goes nothing. Donald Trump is the president-elect. He didn't win by a tiny bit, some marginal amount. He won convincingly. Here he is talking about some of the changes he's going to make.
Stroke of my pen, on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one. Should I do day one, day two, or day three? How about day one, right? Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Okay. Did he say men and women's sports? And did he say the military?
Should I do day one, day two, or day three? How about day one, right? Likewise be done on day one. Should I do day one? And that will likewise be done on day one.
What?
And we will keep men out of women's sports.
Okay.
And that will likewise be, should I do day one? Day one, right? Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders. I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high schools.
Okay. Okay.
And we will keep men out of women's sports.
Oh, let's go. Okay, so, truth. He got a lot of that right, in my opinion. And he got some of it wrong. Yeah, he got some things right and some things wrong. But all those things that he got right or got wrong, I think he does it for the benefit of his audience. He's just throwing raw meat to his audience. Sort of like when he's got Daniel Penny at a football game. For what? Why is he taking pictures with Daniel Penny? What did Penny do? Then you should be taking pictures with him at a football game. I don't know. But see, it works for his base. Sort of like Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton taking pictures with the mother of slain black boys by cops. See how people didn't see that. They didn't say, oh, why is Hillary with Trayvon's mother? Why was Trump with Daniel Penny? If you're going to be quiet when one happens, be quiet the second time. But see, I was loud the first time, loud the second time, doesn't matter. It's not about me. I'm just saying, I'm consistent. You just weren't paying attention. Here's my point. I think we should not have talk of transgender stuff in elementary school. Who thinks that? Do people really think that? Do people really walk around who are trying to fit in with a certain type of ideology that would even think that you should do that? Like, why? Why would you think that? Why? I don't know. I don't agree. So I agree with Trump. That's too much. We don't need that. We don't need that type of talk in elementary school. Why would we? But, and I think that there are people that go along with it because those people are part of that mind thing with the Democrats. They got to follow like sheep. They're not even allowed to have a different opinion. There could be. There ain't gonna be a lot because I think I've done a good job of being very consistent to where those people said, I screwed Tim Black a long time ago. And if it was a deal changer for them, they bounced. But that's just how I feel. I feel that there's too much focus on orientation. I just think there is. I think when kids hear things, they become more curious about them and they want to have conversations about things that aren't actually originating within them, but they are originating from the outside world. I believe that because I see that with kids. If they hear me say something, then they're going to start repeating it. They want to talk more about it, want to ask questions, and it becomes a thing. I don't think that needs to be in elementary school. That type of sexuality talk does not need to happen in elementary school. So I have no problems with Trump wanting to do something to curtail that, to end that, to shut that down. If that's a deal changer for people, I guess it is, but that's unfortunate for you. That's my truth. I'm sure you have your own. But here's where he loses me. If a person who is trans or gay or whatever wants to go in the military and put their life on the line to go fight wars we don't need to fight, to put money in your pockets or the pockets of your friends, or, and not just speaking about Trump, because I'm positive, for instance, the Chinese supported Kamala Harris, not Trump. Little ripple there in the milk, right? Little milk starting to turn a little bit on what they try to serve you as being the obvious play. Yeah, it was the Democrats that had the neocons with them last election. And the Democrats that we used to say they were for peace were bigging up the alliance between the Democrats and the neocons. The people that want more war. And more wars for profit. It's for profit. But here, if you are a trans person and you want to go fight in wars for money for rich old white people, fine, go ahead. Because I don't want my kids doing it. You go right ahead and go to countries you don't need to be in to do all types of atrocities you're going to have to live with the rest of your days that don't need to happen. But yeah, if people want to sign up to do that, let them do it. So I disagree with Trump on that. Trump has got his head up his ass on that. He is, once again, playing to his base. And I cannot imagine a person that's in the armed services, if a person's competent, can shoot that gun, it may save your life in combat or whatever situation. Why would you care who they want to sleep with? You just care if they know how to shoot that thing or do whatever they do. So that's my view on it. So that's why I disagree with Trump. I don't care who wants to do that job, do that job. I feel that way about all jobs, by the way. But then he gets me back because the women in sports, the men and women in sports, I think there should be more sports leagues. If you want to have people that are not biological women, who were once biological men, or you are always a biological man, I'm sorry, biological men, no matter what you call yourself, you should only be able to compete against biological men. I know that seems radical. It's almost blasphemy. It's almost enough to get you burnt at the stake. It's almost enough to be ostracized just for saying a basic thing we grew up seeing our entire fucking lives. And that's how indoctrinated and scared of the truth people are nowadays. A thing that has been this way since the beginning of time in this country. I mean, we had separate everything. We had separate black and white sports teams in schools. But there's always been separate boys and girls teams within those schools. And now people are losing their minds over, there are some of us who want to keep boys and girls separate when it comes to competitive sports. Really? And you so afraid to stand on that you would actually come after someone for saying the thing that you grew up with, knowing that to be a very normal position to have. And at the end of the day, it is just a position. I didn't say go round up the people that want to play football or basketball who are of different genders, who want to biological, I didn't say go round up trans people and put them in camps. I said you should be able to play a competitive sport against a biological woman if you are a biological man. I didn't say come get them and take away their ability to listen to dance tunes. I didn't say shut down their Amazon accounts. It's a very specific thing. And for you to say, well, it's only affects the small people, I used to buy that too. It only affects a small group of people. That ain't the point, is it? No, that's not the point. The point is, you're afraid of saying true because you are hoodwinked. You are being badgered down. You're being beaten in the head. So when people say the woke problem or some other shit, yeah, some of them are being racist. Some of them probably are. But there are also a lot of them who are talking about that. That feeling that you felt when I played the video, the feeling you felt in your stomach, if it bothered you, you are infected with the woke virus. As a person that knows we need to be aware of what's going on in this country, we need to be paying attention to what happens, why, that recognizes there are stigmas, biases, discrimination, racism, sexism, all that stuff exists, but I can still say there is also a social pressure to adapt to a way of life we was not raised with that is counter to what everything we've learned and taught and felt. And still, some of us who still feel that way. I am one of those persons that feel like, I wouldn't even think, why would I do this? I remember we were playing baseball, softball in the field. We had a little league, a little team around my neighborhood in the apartment complex. And there were girls, it was a girls softball team that played, that practiced on our field. And their team wanted to play us just so they could scrimmage. And we played against them. And I hit a home run. And I was not we were not part of the team. We were just stronger. The point is, that's anecdotal. It's just something I haven't thought about for 30 years. Probably 35 years. The point is this, guys. Trump is just basically doing what Van Jones is doing, which is doing what John Fetterman is doing, which is putting in some truth, and it looks like a superpower. But all he's doing is saying truth out loud with authority to people that want to hear it because it's refreshing. And for that, and also some crime, because the black guy's got to throw tears on it too. But upside is he got what, $30 million for doing it? Fetterman became a senator for doing it, and Trump, she almost got eliminated twice, 2 assassination attempts, but he has become president now for the second time. So I guess the people really do love truth. Don't you? Last but not least, this is crazy.
Sorry to his family. This is a person right here.
I just want to report on this because, damn. Okay. Today in New York City, a migrant suspect arrested. He set a New York City subway rider on fire and watched her burn. Folks, stop playing with me. I saw this story and I'm like, okay, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? This guy here. That's the guy he ended up getting. Oh, I don't want to edit the image. I just want to look at it, you damn goofy. Stop. Okay. A Guatemalan migrant was arrested after allegedly tossing a lit match on a sleeping woman in a Coney Island F train, then sitting across from her to watch the gruesome killing. Police caught him after a witness spotted him riding another train near 34th Street. Surveillance footage shows cops briefly talking to the suspect right after Sunday's 7:30 a.m. attack, but they let him go, only realizing later he was the killer. So they come back and they come back and got him later. And
Can you sing?
That's my last story. Sorry, guys, didn't mean to go to that. Damn it.
Family, this is a person right here.
This guy is sitting on the bench watching the lady burn. He burnt up a person. You know, it's stories like this, folks. Stories like this, that there'll be some of us, well, not some of us, not us. I don't mean us, right? Not you and I. We don't deny reality. This guy should not be in America. I would say he shouldn't be anywhere. He should be in jail somewhere. But be like, oh, well, I shouldn't cover this because it makes everyone look bad. No, it doesn't. It makes this guy look bad. It makes the system look bad. It makes New York look bad. It makes whatever this guy's name is look bad. Horrible. But yeah, there's a problem with the system. What I saw online was people like trying to shift it, like they weren't defending the guy, but they were like, no, you can't talk about because this is just Trump. What? Hey, dog. When we see people, there was an act that was done similar to this, but it was a person who did themselves. They self-emulated themselves in a form of protest at Capitol Hill, right? Protest, right? It's a big deal. That was news everywhere because it was on purpose. It was a protest. If you do that to a person, and then sit and watch, we should talk about that. We want to know about who are you, who radicalized you. Why come we can't have the same conversations we had about Luigi? Oh, that's going on about Luigi Mangione. Because no one cares about the homeless woman that was set on fire. So that's when I got problems, man. It's all about identity. It's all about who did it. And that's when people decide if who they did it to matters. So Luigi shoots an executive, just one executive. He killed him. Just one. Horrible thing that was done. International news. Everyone talking about it. Nobody like, no, we should, well, I guess, sorry. Some people are that you shouldn't talk about it. Screw them. Dumb. They want to talk about it, but the other way. They want to talk about it and say, this is just wrong that you would even talk about this guy. Don't glorify him. He's evil. Okay, fine. We are still talking about it. That is your opinion. This migrant guy, this Guatemalan migrant, he did the same thing to one person. And it appears he enjoyed it. It was like a pastime. He broke out the popcorn. He just sat there and watched. He did it, then he sat back and marveled at his work. And now you don't want to have a conversation because you don't want to demonize Guatemalan migrants. But when it was Daniel Penny, Jason Neely, you wanted to have a conversation. Then I should talk about it. Then it's something to be examined because it was a black homeless guy and a white Marine. And now we must have a conversation because that's what I'm supposed to do for some reason. Well, I did do it. I did cover it. I did talk about it because it's both relevant. It's relevant. Here's my thing. To me, relevant to the news. All three of those stories are relevant. All three of those open up a dialogue. All three should be discussed. We should not have a governor on what's able to be discussed and considered as important. What you value says a lot about who you are. And it exposes your biases. If this homeless woman who was set on fire on the train is inconvenient for you to discuss, maybe your politics is bullshit. Maybe you're not such a humanitarian as you claim. Last but not least, see, I'm always full of surprises. At least I try to be. Last but not least, and I know it's very late, I want to give a big shout out to Black Mamba and to my man Buck Bewley for hanging in there. I'd like to ask everyone to hit the like button before you leave out. Maybe some new person will find a Tim Black show and be like, that brother be saying some different stuff. I like that. I didn't expect that. Caught me off guard that time. You wild boy, Tim Black. You a wild boy. It's all good, fam. Thank you. There's this young man. There's this young man by the name of Camden Music. He's out of the UK. He's 20 years old. He's on Instagram and TikTok. And boy, can he play. I saw this clip, I had to share it because I'm cultural that way. It appears that these two gentlemen see him playing on a public piano, which he does very often. When you follow him on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, when you follow Camden Music, M-U-S-I-Q-U-E, you're going to see he goes to public pianos and he just plays. And when I say play, he makes art.
Mozart's 14th Symphony in F G. Can you sing Mozart's 14th Symphony in F G minor major? Yep.
Man, amazing, amazing. This young man, I wanted to teleport there so I could punch those guys in the throat. Yeah, you're a couple of wankers. Bullocks. I don't even know what bullocks means, but I see people say it. Man, this guy, you just saw hate. Pure, unadulterated jealousy and hate and envy, all in one clip. And also, majesty, artistry, beautiful, beautiful transcending art. It's amazing. Just go. Look, guys, I encourage you. And notice the Camden did not flinch. He's so trained. He blocked him out and he just zoned in and did his art. And it ate up the souls of the beastly contrarian jackasses. The evildoers, the evil, simple-minded morons. They couldn't compete, man. Because that 20-year-old young man possessed more talent and ability in one pinky than either of them in their entire bloated bodies. Their heads full of cheese whiz and lots of stupid on the stupid cracker. They could not compete. Oozing. They were oozing with contempt for this guy. They just hate the guy. The Camden Musique is so amazing in what he does. Folks, follow Camden Musique on Instagram and on TikTok. Go find him, and you will find his original work as well as his renditions of classical pieces. And you'll be transcended. Tell him Tim Black sent you. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. Don't stop doing what you know how to do. Ignore the haters and just do your art, baby. The truth shall set us free. All right, I'm Tim Black. This has been the Tim Black Show. Let's go to our comment section, man. Who hung out for this show? I know it's getting close to Christmas. I know, family. Who made it with me? Dana Mitchell says, thank you, Mr. Black. Well, thank you, Dana, for being here. I appreciate you. Give it up for Dana Mitchell, y'all. Black Mamba came through. Thank you, Black Mamba. Thank you for doing what you do. Megs giving out one membership. Megs, you be hooking people up with the memberships. Thank you, Megs. Trusto Party. Trusto Party, thank you. My young G, Kirk Austin. What's up, Kirk? I don't want to hear anything about politics from anybody call themselves Joey Crack. Yeah. More celebrity garbage. That's exactly what it is, fam. That's exactly what it is. Thank you, Dana. Dana Mitchell, I appreciate you one more time. Thank you, Dana. Thank you. And look, thank you guys. Becoming members of the Tim Black Show at patreon.com. Tips Take Live. You can also join here on YouTube. Shout out to the members of the Tim Black Wolfpack to keep the lights on around this joint. Thank you for hitting like before you left or before you leave. Means a lot to the show. Shout out to my supporters. Shout out to people that love the truth and don't have a problem hearing it or speaking it. We are the ones. That's right. We are the ones. So thank you very much. That's what's destroying us, a lack of truth. Found something you like in this show? Share it with a friend. I'll see you on the next one. Until next time, remember, don't let anybody take your cornbread. Don't do it. And with that, folks, I'll say what I always say. Yogi Fish, what's up, Yogi? Thanks, brother. Thank you, Yogi. And with that, my brother, like I always say, don't let nobody take your cornbread. And more importantly for me, happy everything. Where my girls at? Where are my ladies?
Now, there you go. I can wait till it's my